Before we get into the match, I wanted to give a quick overview of what our Commander League is all about, and to quickly go over the decks you will see in play today. The Commander League is run at Silver Dragon Games in Phoenix, Arizona. The league is designed as a competitive league, but with certain rules, themes, and negative consequences that help to keep the league from becoming a full-on CEDH type league. While this does not mean that you will not see CEDH staple cards, you will rarely see the speed and aggressive play that is more common to CEDH. The two hard rules we have in place are no hard stacks and no 2-card infinites. We also have negative point consequences for destroying more than 3 lands, taking more than 3 extra turns, and killing other players prior to turn 5, as well as tutoring more than 3 times. This does not include land tutors. There are also evergreen as well as weekly rotating positive achievements that can be hit for extra points, but that may require playing differently to hit them. Additionally, we have a monthly rotating theme that helps curb power by setting certain tribal or mechanical themes. In the case of this month, Partners was the theme for February. Previous themes have included Feast, food token generation, time travel, suspend and time counter mechanics, and dinosaurs, and Adventure on the Seas, pirates, and sea creatures, to name a few. March will be Fallout themed in honor of the new release. Additionally, the league always allows for pre-constructed decks with 15 or less edits under $150 to ensure that individuals at any level can feel free to join and play, even if they are new to Magic. The decks you will see today are all from some of the higher power players. Here's a quick overview of each deck and the partner commanders in play for them. Brendan is playing Owen Grady, Raptor Trainer, and blue, Loyal Raptor. This Temur deck is designed to ramp fast and bring out big dinosaurs, and to use the synergy of Owen adding Menace, Trample, Reach, or Haste to blue to add the same counters to each dinosaur that enters. Ben is playing Timna the Weaver and Thrasios Triton Hero. This Witch Mod deck is designed to be a creature-heavy stack style deck, intending to slow down the game for other players and to stop rapid win conditions and protect from infinites, while rapidly drawing for its own win conditions. Logan is playing Kodama of the East Tree and Gilarna, Caller of Wirewood. This mono green deck is designed to ramp fast in a variety of ways, including mana dorks, turning creatures into forests, and using Kodama's ability to cheat creatures and land onto the battlefield. Colby is playing Brawlin, Skyshark Rider, and Shabraz, the Skyshark. This Jeskai deck is designed to draw, wheel, and discard, rapidly cycling the deck to buff both Brawlin and Shabraz, and then either swing out with one or both of them, or drain the table via Brawlin triggers. Without further ado, let's get this match started. Brendan wins the roll to start the game. Plays Mossword Bridge, Hadaway 4. Ben is next, shocking in Overgrown Tomb, and then playing Noble Hierarch. Logan plays a Forest and 2 Arbor Elf. Colby plays the Pain Fetch Misty Rainforest, searching for a forest or island card. He locates Hallowed Fountain and shocks it in. He then plays Mana Vault into Talisman of Creativity, followed by a Jeweled Lotus, allowing him to play Brawlin, Skyshark Rider, his first commander. Brendan plays a Forest, followed by Sylvan Library. Ben plays the Pain Fetch Windswept Heath, and searches for a Forest or Plains card. He also locates Hallowed Fountain and shocks it in. He then plays Blind Obedience and swings at Brendan for 1 with Noble Hierarch due to the Exalted trigger. Logan taps, untaps, and retaps his Forest to play OK Adversary for 2 less due to Noble Hierarch. Colby takes 1 damage from Mana Vault remaining tapped during his draw step. He then plays Spectator Seeding, and Talisman of Conviction enters tapped. He swings at Ben with Brawlin for 3 damage. Brennan uses his Sylvan Library trigger, drawing 3 and keeping 2, taking 4 damage. He then plays an island, followed by Garrick's Uprising. Ben plays a Reflecting Pool, followed by a Mox Amber, and then plays the first of his commanders, Timna the Weaver. He pays 1 mana to Extort, and then swings with Noble Heart for 1 to Brendan. He then pays 1 life to Timna to draw a card. Logan immediately swings Oakham Adversary at Ben for 2 in order to draw a card. He then plays Fauna Shaman. Colby swings Brawlin at Ben for 3 damage and casts no spells on his turn. Brendan pays 8 life to Sylvan Library trigger, plays an island, and then casts Cultivate. He seeks out a mountain and a forest, plays the mountain tapped and puts the forest to hand. And then discards 2 hand size and a forest in the graveyard. Ben casts Chromatic Lantern and then casts Lissa Sunslayer. He then swings Timna at Colby, gaining 2 life. Colby cycles Nimble Obstructionist to stifle Timna's card draw ability, and the cycle discard triggers Brawlin to damage each opponent for 1 and adds a counter to him. Logan plays a forest and then swings Oakham Adversary at Brendan for 2 to draw a card. He then casts Gilrana, Caller of Wirewood. And then discards Kamal's Will to hand size. Colby loses another life to Mana Vault and then pays 1 life to Talisman. Cast Dockside Extortionist. Creating 5 tapped treasure tokens due to Blind Obedience. Brendan plays a forest, followed by a Rampaging Ferocidon, preventing life gain for opponents and causing damage with each creature that enters the battlefield. Ben plays Massacre Girl, Known Killer, giving all his creatures Wither, causing any damage done to creatures to do so with -1/-1 counters. He then casts Thrasios Triton Hero. Lissa attacks Colby, and Timna attacks Brendan. Lissa's trigger destroys Brendan's Garrick's Uprising, and then Ben pays 2 life to draw 2 from Timna's trigger. Logan again has Oakham Adversary attack Brendan for 2 to draw a card. He then pays to tap Fauna Shaman and discards Nomad Shepherd to search for a creature, revealing Collector Ufe. He then plays Collector Ufe, followed by a Llanowar Elves. Colby casts Reality Shift on Collector Ufe on Logan's instep, exiling it and causing Logan to manifest the top card of his library. Colby untaps Mana Vault on his upkeep. He then casts Tireless Tribe with one of his treasures. He then uses a treasure and 2 mana from Mana Vault to cast Seething Song, adding 5 red mana. He then uses 4 of the red and the floating colorless mana to cast Path of the Pyromancer, discarding 1 card and triggering Brawlin, gaining 1 red mana and drawing 2 cards. He uses the 3 remaining floating red mana to cast Chaos Warp, targeting 1 of his own treasures. This results in a top deck of Steam Vents, which he has intertapped. Brendan plays Command Tower as land for turn. And then plays Quartzwood Crasher, which enters tapped. Ben plays Oko, Thief of Crowns. He then uses his +1 ability to transform Rampaging Ferocidon into a 3/3 elk, allowing players to once again gain life and eliminating the damage paying for playing creatures. He then plays Mana Crypt, followed by Seedborn Muse. Timna attacks Logan for 2. Massacre Girl attacks Brendan for 4, and Glissa attacks Colby for 3. He then pays 3 life to draw 3 cards, followed by playing Command Tower and Delighted Halfling. Logan casts Titania's Song. Ben responds, countering with Pact of Negation. Logan responds with Veil of Summer. And Ben responds with Render Silent, hitting the bandwagon achievement for the week. Logan then attacks with Okame Adversary, Fauna Shaman, and the 2/2 manifested creature, all directed at Oko. Glissa, Massacre Girl, and Thrasios all block. Killing Okame and Fauna and triggering Massacre Girl to draw 2. On Logan's end step, Ben activates Thrasios to scry to the bottom and then reveals Sarah Ascended and draws the card. Colby takes 1 damage from Mana Vault, then plays Imperial Recruiter. He reveals and then casts Magus of the Moon. On Colby's end step, Ben pays 8 to Thrasios, scrying and revealing Verdant Catacombs, putting it onto the battlefield tapped. And then he scries and reveals Adeline, Resplendent Cathar, and draws it to hand. Brendan plays a Forest, followed by a Ravenous Tyrannosaurus, devouring his 3/3 Elk to add 3 counters. On Brendan's end step, Ben pays 8 to Thrasios again, scrying Dovin's Veto and drawing, and scrying and putting Breeding Pool onto the battlefield tapped. Ben loses his Mana Crypt flip, losing 3 life. Pact of Negation upkeep is paid after a little bit of a hard time from the table, unfortunately causing a missed draw step. He plays Gemstone Caverns, Hushbringer, Sarah Ascendant, and Adeline Resplendent Cathar. He uses Oko's +1 ability to transform Quartzwood Crasher into a 3/3 Elk. Glissa attacks Colby for 3. Massacre Girl attacks Brendan for 4. Thrasios attacks Logan for 1. And Adeline creates 3 1/1 soldiers tapped and attacking each player. Colby blocks Glissa with Dockside Extortionist. Brawlin blocks the 1/1 soldier. Brendan blocks the 1/1 soldier with his Elk. Hushbringer blocks Massacre Girl's trigger. Ben pays 2 life to Timna to draw 2. And then plays Drannith Magistrate. Logan casts Noxious Revival, targeting Titania's Song. Ben responds with a Fierce Guardianship counterspell. Logan discusses the value of drawing out another counterspell with the table before playing Storm Cauldron. Ben counters with Dovin's Veto. Colby takes another point of damage from Mana Vault. He casts Collective Defiance, attempting to wheel Ben's hand. Ben casts Permission Denied in response. Ben pays 8 to Thrasios on Colby's end step to scry and draw both Soul Ring and Notion Thief. In response to Brendan's Sylvan Library trigger, Ben flashes in Notion Thief to steal the card draw. Brendan declines the draw, but does reorder the top 3 from the accidental scry, putting Boseiju, who endures, on top before drawing for draw step. Brendan channels Boseiju, who endures, targeting Chromatic Lantern. Ben responds by paying 8 to Thrasios to scry and put Misty Rainforest onto the battlefield, and draw Mystic Remora. Brendan attacks Ben with Ravenous Tyrannosaurus, using the damage trigger to target Seedborn Muse. The excess damage from the trigger hits Ben for 5 damage. Ben blocks with Glissa, killing Ravenous with First Strike Death Touch. Ben loses the mana crit flip again, losing 3 life. He plays Soul Ring, extorting the table with Blind Obedience. He uses Oko's +1 ability to turn Magus of the Moon into a 3/3 elk. He then plays Vampiric Tutor, extorting again with Blind Obedience. I did want to add in here during the Vampiric Tutor that after the game, reviewing the gameplay, we realized that Oko's ability would not prevent Magus of the Moon's effect, due to Magus's Layer 4 type changing effect applying before Oko's Layer 6 ability removing effect. This would have had the effect of not allowing for the extort triggers to happen due to the lack of colored mana, but there was still the available mana between Mox Amber and Noble Hierarch to cast both Vampiric Tutor and the spell Tutored for, which you will see shortly. As always with Magic, there are some of those nuanced mistakes made, and new things are learned every time. Pays 4 to Thrasios to reveal the top card of his library, showing Cyclonic Rift, and drawing it to hand. He then casts Cyclonic Rift Overloaded, clearing the board of blockers. He swings Massacre Girl, Thrasios, and the tapped and attacking 1/1 from Adeline to eliminate Brendan. Adeline, Notion Thief, and the tapped and attacking 1/1 from Adeline to eliminate Colby. Hushbringer, Timna, Glissa, Sarah, Dranith, and the 2/1/1s from Adeline hit Logan for 10. Ben gains 4 life from Hushbringer, Timna, and Sarah respectively. And then pays 3 life to draw 3 cards. He plays Plaza of Heroes and Mystic Remora. Logan plays Emergence Zone, and then recasts Findhorn Elves and Llanowar Elves, and then scoops to forfeit the game knowing lethal is on the board. A huge thank you to Silver Dragon Games for the amazing play space and community they have created over the last year plus, and for allowing us to record in the store. Thank you to Brendan, Colby, and Logan for allowing this game to be recorded, and for their great play and their generosity in sharing their experience as I continue to learn and enjoy playing Magic in a more competitive sphere. If you enjoy this content, please feel free to comment, like, or subscribe.